the United Nations Security Council has voted unanimously to impose tougher sanctions on North Korea in response to its recent ballistic missile tests. The US-drafted resolution includes measures to reduce the nation's petrol imports by up to 90%. China and Russia, North Korea's main trading partners, voted in favor of the resolution. The country is already subject to a raft of sanctions from the US, the UN and the EU. Washington has been imposing sanctions on Pyongyang since 2008, freezing the assets of individuals and companies linked to its nuclear program and banning the export of goods and services to the country. The U.S. ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, said the sanctions sent an unambiguous message to Pyongyang that further defiance will invite further punishments and isolation. U.S. President Donald Trump has welcomed the resolution, tweeting that the world wanted peace, not death. The United Nations Security Council just voted 15-0 in favor of additional sanctions on North Korea. The world wants peace, not death. End of Twitter post by @RealDonaldTrump. Tensions have risen this year over North Korea's nuclear and missile programs, which it has pursued despite pressure from world powers to stop. The Trump administration says it is seeking a diplomatic solution to the issue, and drafted this new set of sanctions. Analysis by Nada Tawfik, BBC News, New York. This is the 10th Security Council resolution imposing sanctions on North Korea. None yet has convinced Kim Jong-un to abandon his nuclear program, but diplomats hope this resolution will bite hard enough to change the country's path, or at the very least, restrict its ability to carry out additional nuclear and missile tests. These strong new sanctions, passed with China's support, show the growing concern of the international community to the threat posed by Kim Jong-un. President Trump specifically asked President Xi to cut oil to North Korea, believing it would be a pivotal step. According to the U.S., North Korea imported 4.5 million barrels of refined petroleum in 2016. This resolution now caps North Korea's supply to 500,000 barrels a year, a nearly 90% cut to a vital lifeline for Pyongyang. Last month, the U.S. unveiled fresh sanctions against North Korea, which it said were designed to limit the funding for its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. The measures targeted North Korean shipping operations and Chinese companies that trade with Pyongyang. The UN also approved new sanctions following North Korea's nuclear test on September 3. These measures restricted oil imports and banned textile exports, an attempt to starve the North of fuel and income for its weapons programs. The U.S. has been imposing sanctions on North Korea for more than a decade with little success. In fact, North Korea has said fresh sanctions will only make it accelerate its nuclear program. It has continued to test nuclear and ballistic missiles despite these recent examples of UN pressure.